dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Kaylee. Thank all of you for joining us here for this virtual player meeting. We would have loved to have hosted all of you in person, but for the safety of all the players, this was the best option, and we thank you for understanding. One thing I am pleased to say is that we have 20 international players from 8 different countries: Canada, Colombia, France, Latvia, Mexico, New Zealand, Norway, the United Kingdom, and of course, the United States. Very impressive. Most of you know disc golf has been on an unprecedented growth recently. We currently have over 94,000 current members, and we're at PDGA number 188484. As of today, we have also sanctioned over 5,600 events. As you become familiar with Orlando and the surrounding areas, you might all know about the amusement parks, but there's also lots of natural beauty to enjoy, from the lakes, rivers, and wildlife, but it's also a short drive over to the ocean. At the completion of this week's event, we want you to leave Orlando with not only a fond memory of your World Championship experience, but also a new desire to get out and explore. Our hosts here in Orlando are in full support of this year's World Championships event, and for that, we owe the staff, community members, volunteers, and all the sponsors our great thanks and appreciation. So, it is my pleasure to bring up to you your tournament director, Mark Jansen.
Well, hello everybody, we finally made it. Took us a little while to get here, a couple false starts here and there, but we finally got here. One of the reasons we got here was thanks to some of our sponsors. Our primary sponsor for the event being Dynamic Discs in Latitude 64. They've really stepped up, and as you can see today and yesterday as you checked in, some of what they did to help step up and start to make this event positive for all of us, kicking it off with a nice strong players package support, along with some of our other sponsors, such as our platinum ones, Prodigy, Innova, and Discgraph. You all saw products from them in your program as well. So those are the other platinum sponsors. Moving through some of the courses that you'll be experiencing, we've also got all our municipal sponsors that have really stepped up and helped us get these courses into better shape. A lot of the park staff, if you're out there this week and you happen to see some park staff doing something, thank them. And that goes with anybody and everybody for that matter. Thank your fellow competitors too, because they're also some of the reasons that you're here. but in specific for the courses, we've got the City of Orlando Parks and Rec Department, Orange County, the City of DeBary, the City of Claremont, and the City of Eustis have all stepped up, and that's the municipalities where all your courses are being held. Additionally, you've potentially seen the Sun King Pro Shop now that's set up for your enjoyment throughout the week. I know a lot of you have already taken advantage of some of that to date. Some of your winners will be experiencing some DGA baskets that you'll get to take home with you. Some of the things that we've had to pivot with over the recent things is actually doing this, experiencing it as you are right now. And OPAVAV has really helped us out, and they've stepped up in the last 2 or 3 days to make this happen, so you're able to watch this live, as not live, but live to tape, live to simulcast, as opposed to in person. West Volusia County, up in the DeBary area, their tourism board and bureau helped out. Disc Golf Center is carrying some of our EMAC fundraiser discs. And then, of course, the clubs themselves, Lake County Disc Golf Club, DeBary Disc Golf Club, Daytona, they've all been very instrumental in getting the courses set on the courses outside of Orlando. So really help those guys out and thank them and support those clubs as well. We've also got Orbital Creations, which the lucky few of you that end towards the top of the rack will get some of their awards that are made. And then Donk Card Games was in your player pack, and Lucky as well. Something that you'll be getting via email in the next couple of days is some more stuff for your player pack. Lucky Disc Golf will be giving you a $4 voucher electronic, and also Prodigy has supplied a $20 training instructional video that you'll be able to get codes to and visit that and maybe potentially pick up some more tricks to maybe get to the top of the rack next time you're out here. We've had a few dignitaries and stuff that were going to come through. One of them that was able to at least send a note for us. I'll read the letter from the mayor of the city of Orlando and what he wanted to pass along to you since he couldn't make it. Welcome. On behalf of the city of Orlando, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our community for the Professional Disc Golf Association Amateur Disc Golf World Championships. The last year and a half have been challenging for our community as the pandemic has impacted us all. We're thrilled to again be hosting events and safely welcoming visitors to our region. I believe that Central Florida has become one of the nation's premier sports destinations, and hosting events like this only strengthens that status. Your event is set in one of the country's most dynamic cities. With a vibrant dining scene, first-rate hotels, sports and entertainment venues, endless shopping options, and many outdoor activities, Orlando has much to offer. I invite you to explore our community during your visit. You probably already know that Orlando is America's most visited destination, but there's so much more to find. We're proud that our city is very diverse, inclusive, and welcoming, which is reflected in our 10 Orlando Main Street districts throughout the city areas. Each one are filled with unique restaurants and shops. Downtown Orlando in particular is experiencing a renaissance in entertainment and sports ideas thanks to venues like the Amway Center, the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts, plus our community's own crown jewel, Lake Eola Park. I hope you have a wonderful time at the PDGA Amateur Disc Golf World Championships, but I would also like to take some time to discover the other half of Orlando. Buddy Dyer, Mayor, City of Orlando. So that was a nice message that he sent along. So thinking about some of the things that you can actually take advantage of in the other half of Orlando, and if for those of you who haven't caught on, the other half of Orlando doesn't include comic book characters and mouse-ease. So we're going to work through the week, a couple of our activities. Tomorrow night, after you get off your first round, the Fly Mart, which will be at the host hotel, the Wyndham. That's going from 7 to 9. That'll be a plethora of vendors. I think we're up over about 20 or so vendors at this point, maybe even a few more, and quite good variety of that. There'll be a bunch of disc golf related accessories. There'll be some art. There'll be all sorts of things, hopefully some models and some new releases that you haven't seen. A couple touring pros, if you've seen in your program, some of the pros that'll be there to hopefully sign some autographs and stuff for you. When you checked in and received your player pack, right across the hall from there is the Citrus Ballroom, and that's where the Fly Mart will actually be being held. One of the booths in there is R&R Knickknacks, and if you have a few minutes, they'll have some personalization set up. So if you want to get your name put on your shirt maybe, or potentially on some of your goods like your mugs and things of that nature, stop by that booth, and they can help you get that done. On Wednesday night, we worked a little deal out with the Star Flyer and the Star Bar. If you bring your badge, you can get 15% off the bar tab. And then also the world's largest swing ride, it goes up 450 feet. We worked out a discount ticket for $8 for that if you show your badge. So that's pretty much any time Wednesday evening. And I think we're going to be able to set up where Double G may be able to show up a little later in the evening there and hang out with you guys as well. So that's on Wednesday night. Thursday night, it's the yearly players party. This year it's at the main event at Port Orlando. As you'll see in your player's guide, there's a map and able to get you there. What we're doing is providing, it's sort of an arcade-based bowling alley type thing, sports bar. We've got all the arcade games, all the bowling alleys, everything's wide open. So you don't have to pay for anything. We're serving you food, non-alcoholic drinks, bowling, everything. So show up from 7 to 10. Bring your badge to get into that if you're a player, and have an excellent time with that. We really hope everybody can have a good time with that and just relax towards the end of the event. One thing to take notice of on that is parking. There is a nice big parking garage there. Grab your ticket when you park, leave it in the car, come to the event, have some fun. On your way out of the event, remember to grab a parking voucher at the front door. There'll be someone there handing them out. Take that back. When you leave the parking garage, scan your parking ticket, scan your parking voucher, and then you'll be able to park for free. If you don't have either one of those things, you'll probably get charged for the max fee, so you want to pay attention to that and follow those directions. Another thing we're doing to try to keep your week going a little smoother, some of you might have been out to Barnett Park. For those of you that are playing the park side and the north courses, there's a heavy influx of COVID testing happening right now, and some of the lines get long going out of the front of the park. We have worked with them, and actually starting yesterday, there's a special back gate sort of deep into one of the adjoining neighborhoods that's going to be open now every morning. So use the map in your player's guide to get into Barnett Park, and you'll have a much easier time. There'll be no lines, so don't use the actual address off of Colonial Drive for the park. Go up Pine Hills, follow the directions, and use that. You'll have a much better time getting in and out of the park and not getting stuck and taking your +4s. Another thing that's fun with Florida is we've got some different plant life and some different animals and stuff. One of those things that you'll run into on some of the courses potentially are gopher tortoises. That's an endangered species, so you'll want to stay clear and don't bother them. They won't bother you. If you come across a gopher tortoise hole, you'll know it. There's usually sort of fresh dirt in it. It'll be something a little bit unique, maybe you haven't seen before, so you'll probably recognize it. In particular, at Bill Frederick Park, a lot of them have orange poles around them. So you follow your caddy book instructions on how to act and get relief from those. As you all well know, there are alligators in Florida. Most of the body of water, if not all the bodies of water at these parks, you're not supposed to swim at. If you have a retriever and you see your disc, obviously you can grab it, but if it's in a little ways and you're thinking it's over there, it would not be smart to go in and get it. There's large alligators in almost every body of water in Florida. So you would be really, really smart not to find out if the body of water you're trying to go into has an alligator. Just a little heads up on that. Another good thing to keep in mind, the first round tomorrow, the first round you play tomorrow, there will be a win your card prize. So if whoever wins your card, do your online scoring and your paper scorecard, maybe have them walk the scorecard back in to the scoring table, and the person who wins that card will be given a voucher that you can bring to the Fly Mart on tomorrow night, and you'll receive a hat from Dynamic Discs and Latitude. If there happens to be a tie, it's the person that had the last birdie on that. So make sure, and we thank our sponsor, Dynamic Discs, for helping out with that. I could probably go on forever, but you guys are probably would rather do some other things, and I know Sean would much rather talk about some stuff himself. So let me bring Sean back up to finish this up for you guys. Thank you.
All right. Get my device back open here. Okay, as you play this week, PDGA will have a marshal at every single course. This is going to be your first line if you're having any issues, questions, rules, calls, anything like that. Let me say who will be at each course. We will have Bill Newman and Patrick Graziani at the River City Nature Park courses. We'll have Pat Bowles at Palmetto Point. Todd Lyon and Ray Murray will be at Barnett Park. Rebecca Duffy and myself will be at Turkey Lake courses. And Tim Barr will be at Lake Hiawatha. So again, if you have any questions or issues, please ask to speak to a marshal. All right, so annually the PDGA gives awards to the points leaders in each division. Because of COVID, we did not hand out these awards last year, so we have some 2019 and 2020 winners in attendance this year that we'd like to go through. Your 2019 MA 60 points leader was Fred Needham. 2019 MA 50 was Ben Champion. 2019 MA 40 was Richard Van Manen. And moving on to 2020, in the MA 60 division, we had Fred Needham. 2020 MA 50, we had Mark Hauser. 2020 MA 40, Richard Van Manen. And in FA1 for 2020, we had Melody Castrita. All right, some competition items this week. For scoring, we will be using the PDGA digital scorecard. That code will be available at your individual tournament central, and you will need to log in at pdga.com/score, and you'll be prompted to put in that password and log in. We will also be using a paper backup, which someone from your card will need to pick up at Tournament Central, and we are also requesting that you turn in that paper as a backup in case we have any scoring discrepancies. We have something to fall back on. All of your whole assignments for tomorrow's first round have been posted at pdga.com on the AM Worlds event site. This will also be where you will find your rounds throughout the week for your whole assignments or your tee times. Those will be posted immediately after the last person hits submit and we make sure everything's correct. You'll be able to immediately get your whole assignments and your tee assignments for the next round. All right, we're in Florida, and if you've already been here, you've experienced some weather. If we do have a weather lightning delay, you will hear 3 blasts of the horn. You need to immediately mark your disc and seek shelter. If you are playing at Barnett Park, that entire park has its own automatic lightning detecting system. However, their system only has one long horn. You will not be able to miss it if that goes off. However, if it goes off before we are aware of it, we will follow that up with 3 additional long blasts. Same protocol, mark your disc and seek shelter. All right, most important thing this entire week, heat, humidity. Please, please stay hydrated. If you think you're thirsty, it's probably already too late. Drink, drink, drink. I cannot say it enough. This team has done an amazing job providing a ton of water. They have water people at every single course. That's their only job. If you see a pop-up tent on the course, that is where you will find your water stations. If you have any issues on the course, discrepancy while you are playing, you're not sure how to play an OB, or if there's a Mando or any other rule situation, there's an elegant way to cover that, and that's called a provisional. I wish Andrew Sweeten was here so he could say provisional, provisional, provisional for you. But there's not going to be any harm if you play and declare a provisional. Bring that back to a marshal or the tournament director, and we'll sort it out for you. Because this is a PDGA major, There is no smoking. There's no vaping or chewing tobacco from the 2-minute warning until your card is turned in. There are no designated smoking areas on the course. Before or after your round, you may smoke in the parking lot or on a road, but from 2 minutes to card turn in, there's absolutely no smoking. One thing that we like to instill on our players is if you come to a flag line, you're going to have a disc that might be close, and you're going to have to make a judgment call as to whether it's in and out. What our marshals like to do is what we call the 1-second rule. If you walk up, look at it, and if it's going to take you longer than 1 second to decide if it's in or out, we need you to call it in, okay? If everybody treats it the exact same way, it's going to be fair for everybody. Don't sit there and go back and forth and try and decide. If it's that close, let's call it in. All right, if you are playing in MA1 or MA40, we have multiple pools. After your round on Wednesday, we are going to do a shuffle. What that means is you might have been in B pool for the first 2 days. After the shuffle, that doesn't automatically mean you will be in B pool again. You will need to go on the PDGA event site, check where you are, because you might be in a different pool. All right, so that's MA1 and MA40. Check Wednesday evening to see which pool you are in. We have one minor course addendum. If you are playing the Barwick course at the River City Nature Park, hole 6 has a creek meandering through the hole. There's almost no water in that creek, so we're going to make the adjustment that that water is going to be casual. What that means is if you land in it, you can take the next closest available lie on the line of play. We're going to make a post at Tournament Central for that course, and we'll have something on the tee sign to remind you. So hole 6, Barwick, that is going to be a casual creek. All right, lastly, some of you have heard this before, but this is the spirit of the game I'm going to read to you. Disc golf is typically played without the supervision of a referee or an umpire. The game relies on the player to show sportsmanship, integrity, consideration for others, and to abide by the rules of play. All players should conduct themselves in a disciplined manner, demonstrating courtesy and sportsmanship at all times, irrespective of how competitive they may be. Make the call, accept the call. It's not personal, it's the rules. This is the spirit of game of disc golf. Last order of housekeeping here. We had a few people, not many, I'm happy to say that have not checked in. We are doing late check-in at the host hotel, the Wyndham, from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. tonight. If you are not checked in and signed a waiver, you cannot tee off. So if you're one of those few people, please get over to the Wyndham between 8 and 9 this evening to get checked in. Oh, something else. Yep.
I was a little remiss. You see a few other people up here on stage with me, so I'm just going to take a real quick time to run down some of our staff that's been helping for quite a few months/years and keeping course preps and things of that nature. So I just wanted to at least recognize all the staff that's really helped me get to the point where I can actually stand and talk to you guys here. Working from my left now to my right, Bill Murphy. Woo. Felicia Murphy. Yeah. One of our board of directors, James LeBeau. Daryl Siddon, been very instrumental in logistics and everything. On my other side, my main man, I could not have done this without, Bill Burbage. And then speaking of, you've all heard the thing, behind every great man, every this, that, the other thing. Well, this is so true in my scenario with my wife, Linda Jansen. And of course, I could sit up here for days and thank the people that were involved in the tournament. You all know if you've showed up to help on courses, if you've done things, if you're volunteering for the week all this week, it's a true thank you to help you because it's one of those takes a village type things, and we've had to raise and put up a couple of villages to get this going. Thank you all. Sean?
All right. So with that, I want to pre-congratulate all of our future world champions that are going to be crowned this week. I want to thank all of you for attending. I want to thank our amazing staff and volunteers that are going to be out here all week. And I want to wish each and every one of you good luck and have fun. Thank you.